better known as the Lady of the Light. And by the light, does anybody know what light I'm talking about? North Point Lighthouse, which you can visit today in our beautiful lake park on the shores of Lake Michigan. That was my home for over 33 years. I was born in New York in 1846, and when I was 20, I married my husband, Lemuel Stebbins. By the time I was 27, I had been diagnosed with consumption, tuberculosis, and the doctor said the only thing that's going to cure you is to get out of this dirty city, New York City, and get some fresh breezes. And coincidentally, my father, 2 years prior to this, had been appointed keeper of North Point Station here in Milwaukee. So I took a train and came to live with my mother, Katharyn, and my father, Daniel Green, in this tiny little keeper's cottage that he was the keeper of the light for. I noticed that his health was declining. So little by little, I started taking over his duties as the keeper. And that lasted for about 7 years unofficially. When he retired, I became the official federally appointed lighthouse keeper of North Point when I was 31 years old. Thank you. We were a rarefied breed in those days. Women, official lighthouse keepers. A lot of us helped our husbands as the lighthouse keeper, but very few of us were official. So, of course, my duty as the lighthouse keeper was to keep the light burning. So that meant carrying up the mineral oil to the lamp that illuminated the Fresnel lens at the top of the lighthouse. And that had to be done every 4 hours from dusk to dawn, every day of the year, for as long as I was there, which was 33 years.
Wow.
After I was officially appointed, I never left the lighthouse for a night.
Wow.
I was there all the time. I could see the light from my bedroom window, and of course the sailors could see it from the bluff on Lake Michigan. Meanwhile, my husband, he came with me from New York. He was a watchmaker and a jeweler, and he opened up a store on Mason Street, and he kept that store going for 40 years. We had a son born at the lighthouse, Albert Kellogg Stebbins, and I had a grandson born at the lighthouse. We lived there as a family. I died at the age of 75, but one of the things besides keeping the light burning that I was so proud of was my gardens, because Frederick Law Olmsted was designing Lake Park. Frederick Law Olmsted of Central Park fame was designing the gardens at Lake Park during the 1890s. So I was in my prime, and I was seeing all of this gorgeous stuff happening, and people were coming on weekends for their picnics and traversing the ravines with those beautiful bridges with the stone lions. How many of you have been to North Point Lighthouse? Oh, good. Then you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been there, you need to go, because it is still the jewel of Lake Park. So I was proud of my gardens. I was known for my pansies and my gladiolas. I mail ordered my gladiolas from Queens, New York, and just had a wonderful time being a mom and a lighthouse keeper and a wife. And I hope you visit North Point Lighthouse if you haven't been there. It's changed through the years. When I first came, there was a tiny cottage, not this one, that and the light that practically This one was built in 1887, so the keeper's quarters were very much increased. And then this is the light where I climbed up and down. They say when I retired at 61, I had taken 86,400 steps up and down, replenishing the light. Remember, from dusk to dawn, every night, every 4 hours. And then in 1912, Frederick's Olmsted's plantings had grown up so much from the 1890s that they started covering the light so the sailors couldn't see it anymore. So in 1912, they increased the size of the light. They doubled it. Instead of building from the top, they lifted it up and built from the bottom. So the original light is now at the top. So this is 1912 size. And the keeper's quarters are so much larger. They're very proud of this at North Point. The same light was the light that was in the tower in 1855, 1887, and 1912, and today you would be able to climb up to that original light. So you need to get there, and when you go, think of me keeping that light. And thank you for coming, and may the light be with you.